Last time we created a landing page for our website. Today we're going to add a few more pages, more information, some best practices. And let's go. As before, we're working with Claude Code. This window is the Claude application, and we just click the code mode. And as you know, it needs a folder to work from. The folder we're working from today is this one called website. It has a simple index.html, which is my entire website right now, and the claude.md that we created in another video. I'll link it here. That's all we have right now. One important thing is to restart your conversations pretty frequently, because the context, the information that Claude has, gets bloated and you get worse results over time because it has this extra information that it doesn't need for the task at hand. For right now, I want to create a task list. So this history is useful, but after this, we're going to start a new session. Can you create a markdown file in this folder to track our to-do list? Things that I have in mind right now are phase 2, add an about me page, a link to Calendly, and a newsletter subscription. I actually don't have a newsletter right now, but I just want another way to get in contact with you. So transcription got it wrong. So phase 2, let's fix it. Let's put a new line. Things that we need to implement as well. GitHub for project management, SEO and GEO best practices, and accessibility. Not my finest work organizing my thoughts on that one, but Claude got it more or less correctly. So now we have this new file called to do. Let's open it and take a look. It created a phase 1 because I said we're working on phase 2, and it checked off the tasks that we did in the previous session, which is really nice. Today we want to add an about me page, a Calendly link, an email capture, so that's the future newsletter, and also expanded on the tasks that I mentioned. So project management, this is the code itself, and I'll cover that in another video pretty soon. And then we have SEO and GEO. It created 4 tasks, but it's probably going to be just one prompt. And then accessibility. And accessibility is preparing your website for people who have lower vision and need help to be able to read and navigate that. They sometimes use screen readers. It just means that the website has to be prepared with extra information that is hidden from us, but that some software can pick up and read aloud to whoever needs that. They're really good standards, and it's really easy to implement, even easier with AI. And that's something that we should definitely do. Now that we have our task list, let's start a new session. Again, this is because we worked on a lot of things the other time that we don't need access to right now. So this will save us tokens or usage. We're in the correct folder, that's the website. And because we have this claude.md that has some instructions and some context on what we're doing, we can go straight ahead and just ask it for what we need right now. So we're working on that About Me page. On this website, please create an About Me page. Have a link in the header and match all of the branding. The content should be this. And now I'm just going to paste. a very short About Me session that I had prepared. So it's showing it to me here, and it also created this about.html. We're not quite at the best practices step yet. This is how websites worked in the olden day. We are going to make improvements, but honestly, to start with, that's all you need. No one is going to notice that you don't have the latest best practices and frameworks and all of that implemented. So there you go. Same header with the links and the footer and the text that I provided. And now our main page now has the About link. That's good enough for that task, so I'll just tell it in the to-do file, mark About Me page as done. It's just looking for the file. And in the to-do file, you can see it put an X here. Next step is Calendly. Calendly is a really cool tool that allows people to book meetings with you, and it integrates with whatever calendar you're working with. So let me pull it here so you can see. This is what it looks like. I created a simple meeting, and I'm going to copy this link. And then back to my conversation with Claude. I'm going to tell you in the About page, add a section called Work With Me. We're going to include a Calendly link. This is going to be a free AI strategy consulting session just to talk about the needs that people might have. Here's the link. And I'm going to paste the link here. So it created the section and then it refreshed, improving what it looks like. And the text seems pretty good to me. That's the idea. Mark Calendly as done in our to-do list. There you go. Now, I actually want to leave the newsletter for another video because it will need data storage. Same for the project management part, the GitHub part. It's important enough that it deserves its own video. But the other two, the SEO and the accessibility, are pretty well established practices, and AI will be able to do mostly on its own. So let's actually create a new session. It doesn't need any specific information on how we went about creating the About Me page, right? So I'm just going to tell it. In our to-do file, there are some tasks for SEO and GEO and accessibility. Do some research and write a plan to implement those ones. And what we're going to do here is, instead of accept edits, we're going to say plan mode. And this is one of the cool things about working on Claude Code instead of the chat. So it's going to read that file, do some research, and propose an implementation for us. And we're going to double check, tweak a little bit, and then let it implement later. Okay, now you can see it prompted us about something. It says Claude proposed a plan, and it has a link to open the plan, but the plan is right here. So let's make it a little bit bigger. It's telling us the context, and it says the landing page is a plain HTML, and the goal is to make the page rank better in traditional search, surface well in AI-generated answers, and be fully usable by screen reader and keyboard users. I'm going to show you all the changes that it's implementing, and you can see it's all in the HTML, the code part of it, not in the content itself. Here I can see that it doesn't know exactly what my website is. It's missing the. So it's adding these tags. Saying that go to YouTube inside the tag. This is what the screen reader will use. So it's creating this file, robots.txt. This is what AI uses to gather information about websites. Sitemap, llms, good. And for some reason, I decided not to worry about the About Me page. So now, before it implements this, I'm going to tell it what I think about it and what we can improve. So let's revise, include the About Me page. It's how I can leave a comment for Claude directly here. That's good. Let's say the live URL is the Lopreneur AI Club.com. So it has our comment in there, the other comment that we made. And I think those are the two things. Let's work on the color contrast. Plum on lavender. Reads well. Plum on lavender reads well visually. Okay, so that's good. It's actually saying it's decent contrast. So it's updating the plan. And this is the new plan. So it has changes to index.html, and it has or is it changes to about.html. That's good. Removed the about page from line and scope. So except in auto mode, it's just going to let it implement all these changes. We can close the plan. So it finished implementing, and it's telling me that we're missing the OJ social share. This is the little thumbnail that you see when you share the website link on social media and things like that. What will happen if I click start locally? Ah, so it created a new session only for that. That's good. Let's see what's in there. So it wrote the prompt itself. That's good. Let's leave it working. So we have the 3 new files and the changes, and it should create the OJ image on the same folder. There you go. This is what it will look like when someone shares the link. And you got the tools again. Read told it it's not tools. Can you change tools for tips? And if it's some very specific task, you don't have to give it much context. The context is good for bigger tasks and for working in a consistent way in a project. This is a very specific and self-contained task, so it should be able to pick it up what I mean. There you go. Looks good. It's in the correct folder. Just have to tell it to mark that as done. Can you mark these tasks as done, please? Remember, we're deploying this with Netlify. Netlify has a generous free tier and it's easy to use. It's a good tool for what we're doing here. So there you go. Because we don't have GitHub connected yet, which bothers me a little bit as a software engineer, we can just drag and drop the entire folder. That's what we're going to do right now. So we're just going to go one level up. That's the desktop. That has the folder website, and we're just doing this. So this was our initial deployment. This is our new deployment. Wonder if it's live yet. It is. There you go. The About Me page. The Calendly link. Nice. So there you go. We made improvements, we deployed improvements, but we still have a long to-do list. So let me know in the comments what you would like to see in this series. See ya.